Hello. It's time for another episode of The Virtual Seas, which is this little gaming show. It's about ocean games and stuff. And we have a new edition. I know nothing about this other than I googled ocean games for Nintendo Switch, and this was one of them that I found. So let's find out what it's all about. This is exciting. What do you think will happen? I've never even launched this, because I just found it. Fellow traveler. Okay. In other waters. Touch screen? I'm gonna touch the screen. Are you crazy? Okay. Alright. What the heck does that mean? Taxa? Baikal? Exoplanet extraction? Whoa. See, I was interested in it because it said water in the name. Uh-oh. Covering last known log. There isn't any time left. This is going to be more... What? Than you're used to, but you're resourceful, I know. Can't let them find you. Can't lose everything we achieved. User disconnected. Continue with the boot. Okay. Hello, is someone there? This is Dr. Ellery Vass. I urgently need all systems of this suit activating. I've been locked out, and I'm 20 meters below the surface here. Is this me or someone talking to me? I say again, this is Dr. Ellery Vass. Can any operator personas on this suit please respond? Is it a no? Operator, activate all systems. Pilot authorization granted. What? Okay, utilities available. Let's see. Sampling, sample storage, terminal, and retrieval seem to be installed. Power panel is activating. Plenty of juice. Love juice. Oxygen panel is up and rebreather functioning. I'm off reserve oxygen now. I'm seeing the heading panel coming online. Excellent. Okay, good. The dive panel is active. Current reading of 20 meters. Scan and typography readouts coming through, looking good. You don't seem to know what you're doing. Hey, I'm not an operator anyway. Operators are little more than voice-activated system dialogues that don't respond like this. I knew there was something strange about this suit when I got inside. It looks decades old. Look, we don't have time for this, so whatever program or system you are, I need you to work with me. You seem to respond to voice commands, so that's a start. We need to head north. I'll explain once we get going, but right now I'm locked out of half the systems of this suit. Someone somehow has rewritten the permissions to only respond to internal messaging. That means you. So I'm going to need you to take control. Let's get moving. Take me north into the reef. Please. Well, what the heck do I do? Take me north into the reef? Am I just a map man? Well, I think we want to go north, like this. What a peculiar little game. Okay. How do I go? Oh, that's where we want to go? Okay. Steep rock walls rise up toward the surface on the other side. The floor is layered with pale sand. Okay, so I marked that or whatever. Okay, vector, something. Oh, we're going. Okay. Whatever you're doing is working. Let's keep heading north. Okay, we're gonna head to this thing now. Narrow pass. The boulder fills the passage, blocking out the warm light of Gliesa 667 CC's 3 stars EV. What? So now we gotta go there? Okay, hold on. Now what do you want me to do? Okay. Here the passage opens out back into the dappled light of reef's shallows. Okay. Just that. Soft currents. The softly flowing water is filled with glittering particles of organic matter. Signs of rich and thriving life all around. Okay. 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 Look, in the water, are those spores? And those stalks to the west, they look like huge fungi. This is unbelievable. Actual alien life is. How could Minnie have kept this place a secret? I saw her notes at the base when I landed and some telltale signs on the approach. But here it is. The first extraterrestrial life humanity has ever discovered. I can't believe it. Yeah? Okay. Oops. What were those creatures? They were hidden among the stalks. Quickly, tried to get a scan. Well, how am I going to scan something? I hope I'm not supposed to scan something. Oh, what is going on here? What is that doodad flying around? I wish I knew how to scan. Okay, this is something. Yeah, I don't know how to scan, sorry. Oh, what if I do this? Bed of stalks. Creature. Fungal creature made up of a series of stalks and plates attached to the rock. These stalks are beautiful. I wonder how they feed, how they grow, how they communicate. This place, this planet, needs to be studied. Keep scanning creatures and I'll keep notes. Once we've gathered enough data, I can name and log each species. No matter what happens here, this is vital work. Wow, I feel like a scientist. Bed of stalks. Creature. Okay, external membrane appears to be made of layers of chitin, like earth arthropods or fungi. Okay, we've still got bed of stalks. Okay. Colonies are producing a shifting hum. Perhaps it's a form of communication between individuals. What are these things flying all around? That's the real question. Agile creature, striped with luminous colors. These flexible flapping creatures move rapidly through the water with little effort. Such lively little creatures, and so colorful too. I'll start logging my observations. Okay. Is anything else flapping around? This guy. Another one? Series of siphon jets concealed beneath their folded mantles. They're incredibly fast. Okay. Well, how about we go over here? Okay. Oh, we got something else over here? Not that one. Okay. Stalk patch sample candidate. The stalks are furred with spores which appear to have drifted down from the northern part of the reef. Stalks are covered in spores of all sizes. Perhaps we can sample one of the larger ones. Sample? I don't know how to sample nothing. Open up the sampling utility. This better not be a sampling utility. Oh, maybe it is? Whoa. Fungal seed. Biosample. What should I do to it? Maybe I have to get one of these little black thingies? No. Oh, maybe I have to... Okay. Jeez, this person's not patient enough. I gotta figure out how to undo this. Oh, jeez. This wants me to go down here. What is that thing? Okay. How do you get it? I'm trying to get it. No? No? What button could I possibly press to do this? Do we do it? Oh, what? Got one. Biological samples are vital tools for analyzing and understanding creatures. But this suit should also allow you to deploy any sample back into the ocean. How about you test it out? Hold and drag it over the central compass. Okay. We let it go. Great. Great. That's working as it should. Look, those creatures are coming for the spores. Why these ones in particular, I wonder? Perhaps different spores carry different compounds, each with a specific purpose or message. What do you think? Could the spores be a way of communicating between different colonies? Sure. If it isn't that strange. Fungi and earth form networks of exchange. Maybe these stocks do the same. Anyway, sorry, I'm not sure why Let's keep moving. Okay. Close this. How do I close that? Okay. Okay. What do we got over here? Bed of stocks. Reef stocks. Fungal creature which communicates through sound and spores. An interlocking ecosystem seated across the reef. Okay. The huge rock sits among layers of lichen. Could it have been thrown here during a volcanically active period in the planet's history? Sure. Why not? Let's find out what this is. Agile creature. These creatures aggressively pursue certain spores but ignore others completely. Can they detect differences in mineral content? What is it that dictates the reef's growth patterns? Sunlight, the flow of water? Whatever it is, it must be absent here. Okay. Spore flow. Spores from the main part of the reef are brought into the southern nurseries here by a steady current. Among these spore-clogging stalks are piles of small stones. Could a creature have gathered them here, or just the currents? I don't know. Hey, can I ask you something? Sure. I've worked with AI programs before, but you aren't like them. It's because I'm alive, duh. Ugh. Goodness. Yeah, I'm different. Yeah, I'm a human, duh. Glad I'm not just imagining it. What are you, and what are you doing in this suit? I don't know, I'm just like, I just went into a computer or something, duh. Northern current. The current running into the reef slows here, but further north the water whips down the reef with incredible speed. Wide and long with sheer rock walls on either side, this deep rift channels unpredictable currents. This arch is covered in hardened stalks. Perhaps the slow current passing through brought their spores to settle here. not trying to go towards unpredictable currents or anything. What do we got here? Shelled creature. Mobile creature with a large translucent shell and 4 swimming appendages it uses in rapid rowing motion. These creatures have such beautiful translucent shells. I'll start logging data on them as we find them. Static creature made up of one huge flexible stalk. Unclear if swaying is due to current or produced by the stalk's own body. These stalks are incredible, each one a vertical ecosystem. They're leaking spores into the water as the fruiting bodies attached to their skin bloom. Many of the stalks are leaking particles into the water as they sway. Are those spores or something else? Did you see that? The stalks responded to our movement. They extended as we passed through the arch. The chitin of the stalk's membrane is very hard, but flexibility is given by a surface of overlapping plates. Perhaps it was the sound we made when we moved through? We should be careful not to get trapped here. The suit's power capacity is limited. There's a lot of activity among the rocks ahead. Creatures are grazing on and living among the stalks, forming a complex ecosystem. What was that little thing? What are you doing, buddy? Okay. What was I doing? Oh, should I go to that? Large stalk. The plates of the stalk's surface passing over one another must be producing the distinctive hum that can be heard. It's over there. Calcified stalk. This stalk is totally still, its plates hardened into a rocky shell. Can it be revived, or is this what death looks like here? I don't care about that large stalk, I'm trying to scan this thingy. Safe to assume that the singing of these stalks relates to the communication between colonies seen elsewhere on the reef. The growth gets heavier as we travel north into the stalk forest. Something about it giving that name makes it feel safer and more familiar. What's that? Sing stalk, creature. Large stalks which sway, producing a distinctive hum or groan. Part of the network of stalks which is found across the reef. I've named these sing stalks for the strange hum they produce. What is its precise function, I wonder? Vector blocked. Is that right? Sampling available. Let's get that. Okay, so this. There's a lot of dead material here, so we should be able to take multiple samples. Okay, so the chitin appears to be hardened with calcium carbonate. That could be useful if we need to boost our power. This suit is able to metabolize organic compounds to produce fuel. Just drag them to the power panel. The suit displays how much oxygen or power each sample can produce. No point in wasting important samples. With these we can keep one sample so we can analyze it back on the base and use the other for a power boost. Okay, what was I supposed to do? Okay. Then do what? Which one is the power? Probably this thing that's running out? Seems good, right? Let's get the rest of the juice filled up. Okay. Overgrown pass. The space between the rocks here is thick with stalks. The elaborate patterns they trace across the reef are beautiful. In that case. The relationship between these creatures and the stalks is unclear, but they camouflage themselves among the amber colonies. Bear Canyon. The rocks here are clear of stalks and other growths. Is their absence a territorial marker or just a side effect of the conditions of these waters? Oh, that's creepy. They just blocked the path. A large cavern drops down into the reef here. Its entrance is shadowed by the surrounding rocks. Southern Cavern. The water is still in the yawning entrance to the cavern. There are no signs of stalks or other reef life around the entrance. What am I supposed to do? Whoa. Okay. Stalk patches. The patchy sunlight coming through the broken cavern roof is enough to allow stalks to grow here, if that is what they require. Glittering stalk. Soft sunlight spills down onto a long, thin stalk stretching towards the light. A coating of large glassy bubbles glitters on its skin. Tall stalk. A tall bubble-coated stalk which sits among reef stalks colonies covered in wide irising pores. These tall stalks seem to watch over something. Missed it. Stalks measure across the cavern here, hardened into a near solid wall of tubes and plates. Locked. Sampling available. Like it. Okay. Do I need more energy or anything? No. These gaseous bubbles are intriguing. The interior gas is at an elevated pressure. If this membrane ruptured, the sac would screech as it depressurized. And this part of the stock communication system we've seen is this part of the stock communication we've seen across the reef. Wait, I have an idea. Try deploying one by that block tunnel over there. I want to see how the stocks react. Just drag one over. Okay. Grab one of these guys. And then... Wait. How do I... Okay. Grab one of these. And put it over here. Okay, look at that. They retracted. These bubbles must be some kind of signal system. I'll call them shrill sacs for that squeak. Can use these to get through the heavy growth ahead. Let's get moving. Blind corner. The cavern curves away in both directions here. It's hard to see the way ahead. So I guess you're wondering where we are heading. There's a way station just north of here on a finger of this reef. I want to find it. My shuttle touched down just hours ago at a floating research base to the south. That's where I found this suit. I'm here looking for a Dr. Mene no Mora. Chasing a message all the way from Earth. I must sound mad, coming out here to a planet in the tail of Scorpius just to follow a message. Wait, do you know where we are? Or don't you? You do know where we are, don't you? No, I don't. But how? We're on Gliesa 667cc, a supposedly unremarkable world if it wasn't for all this life. Somehow the exoplanet extraction core must have passed it by, but how did Mene know to come here? Is that why she contacted me? To verify her discovery? Then where is she? Look, let's find that way station, then I can start piecing together what's going on. Okay. Tall stock. Stocks of this kind seem to produce different bubbles depending on nearby stocks. They are the protectors of their colonies. Large clearing. I can't help but feel some unseen processes shaping the growth patterns of this reef. What invisible borders am I crossing? Glittering stalk. This thin stalk sits among a bed of other growths, exuding bright bubbles through its pores. Rock outcrop. The scattered boulders and steep rifts of the southern reef suggest a violent geological past. Okay, so we're seeing some sing stalks again. Isolated stalk. Unlike the other specimens, this large stalk sits alone, away from the lower beds. It's hard to tell if this is the beginning of a colony or its end. These creatures glide among the reef stalks with great care and precision. They appear to be grazing on them. Spore clouds. The relative calm of the space means the water is clogged with spores released by the larger stalks. The stalks here are so thick, a sea of amber, waving fingers that must be cleared before we can pass through. Do I have any more of those thingies? I might. Oh, look at that. Okay. I don't have any more though, so that may be a problem. Forest clearing. Navigating these dense growths is like finding your way through a labyrinth, moving from clearing to clearing with little sense of what's ahead. Okay. I think I'm busted because I don't have any more of those dang spore thingies. Or bubble whatevers. What should I do? Glittering stalk. Bubbles like huge pearls glint among the stalks. How do the stalks produce these strange screeching? Oh, so there's more of those things probably? Okay. Growth patterns of the stalks suggest a complete territorial network. Are we underestimating the complexity of these life forms? What is this thing? Oh, a shelled creature. Delicate set of feeding appendages beneath the shells. Creature's shell seems to scrape the outer membrane of the stalks away. Okay. So let's go to this. We should be able to sample something, I hope. Let's sample a bunch, because why not? Okay. These all the same? Should we drop this baby? Seems good. Can we put a little something in there? That did absolutely nothing. Okay. You know what? Can we sample again? Please? Because... oh, there's another one. What's this? Okay. Okay, let's get out of this. Signal stalk. Tall bubble-producing stalks that protect and monitor stalk colonies, a key part of the stalk network that stretches across the reef. I'm going to call these signal stalks for the signaling role they play in the stalk ecology. Glittering stalk, bubble-producing stalks. Okay. Clear path. East and west are stalks as far as the eyes can see. They fade off into the silt like the towers of a miniature city. Spore clusters. Spores from the stalks seem to be massing here in large clumps. Oh, I missed it. I don't care about this thing. Shelled creature. Occasionally when the creature scrapes the stalks too aggressively, they retract and let out a defensive signal to nearby colonies. There seems to be some tolerance for the creatures scraping by the stalks. They only warn the creature when it cuts too deeply. Twin stones. These two boulders are covered with tiny stalks, a coating of amber fur waving in the currents. Forest edge, the last line of thick stalks before the sandy plains of the central reef. That's it, we're through. This place is overwhelming. So many new species. This is the central reef I saw in Manet's maps, and the shelf flattens out here. Shady outcrop. The water beneath this outcrop feels cool, oceanic. Soft currents scrape sand from the rock face. Ripples of silt bounce sunlight back up through the water, giving it a golden glow. The center of the reef is flat and sandy with few rocks to attach to Stocks struggle to see these waters. There it is. I see the way station ahead. Okay. A way station set up by Mine Nomura. It's seen better days, but it still functions beneath the coating of stocks. This place is looking a little worse for wear. Let me see if I can find an access port. Mine never did take care of her equipment. Some things never change. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm just trying to... Got it. Okay, we should be able to access any data stored here. Just open the terminal and take a look. Terminal. Is this it? Or is this it? Sync complete. Data released to pilot's console. Logs have been cleared. I expected that, given the secrecy Mine seems to be operating under. But the map data mentions something Mine calls the bloom out across the northern rift. She's been going back and forth to something there, studying it, a unique species perhaps? Mine, what were you doing here? Why were you keeping this discovery from the world, from me? I'm talking to myself again, or to whatever you are. Sorry, I don't mean. Let's head back to the research base. I need to think. With this way station operational, we can call in the base's retrieval drone from the utility panel. This drone will be able to pick us up from any area we've got map data for. Let's head to the base. I've got a lot to figure out. Okay. So we request retrieval from this drone thingy. Hey, are you back online? Yes. Pretty sharp work for a biologist if I do say so myself. Hooking up that strange casing of yours to the base took some work. And the OS here does not play nicely with whatever you are. But you should have access to select subsystems of the stack now. Mine looks to have repurposed some of them, so not everything is functional. Columns are shot, the generator is only partially working, and one of the retrieval drones is missing. But I've booted up the drive bay's mapping systems and sample storage. The lab is also online with analysis tools and an integrated taxonomy for logging creatures. Take a look, I've already logged the creatures we discovered on our last dive. For any logged creatures, I'll put sample requests and their taxonomy entries. To fulfill these requests, just find and transfer the samples to the lab, then analyze them. We can use that data to add to the creature study. We need to register these species. Head down to the lab level and take a look. I'll also mark sample requests on the dive map. That way we can grab key samples for our studies while we are out in the ocean. And we are going back out soon. While you were offline, I spotted a signal, a suit transponder. You can see its location on the dive map. I want to find it. A suit transponder means a suit, and a suit means Mine. I'll need your help. That suit takes us both to pilot it. It's the only one I've got. Once you're done exploring the base, load into the dive map, and we can head out from there. I feel like I was supposed to do a lot of stuff that I don't remember. Okay. Dive map sounds like a thing we were supposed to do. Oh, we can put these into the base, I guess. These shrill sacks. At least one, I guess. Life support. What the heck is that over there? May's notes mention something called the bloom across the rift, but until we have stronger propulsion, we won't be able to cross it. Well, tell me about what this is then. Priority. The base has detected a suit transponder at these coordinates. Could these be Manet? We'll have to head to the East Reef to find out. Okay. Sample request. Okay. I guess that's where we gotta start. But how are we gonna get over there? Okay, that's where we had samples and stuff. I guess we have to go to here. Can we go through this little gap? Doesn't the drone just drop me off here? Okay. So we definitely gotta go to the east. This stalk is leaking spores from a wide slit in its side. They're carried across the soft sand by currents coming from the East Reef. Well, that sounds like the place to go. Towering outcrop. This feature rises steeply toward the jagged edge of the reef, splitting the strong current like the head of an axe. Northern Passage. Were these rifts and canyons really carved by the currents, or are they violent fractures now smoothed by erosion? The pale strata of this rock tell an ancient story. Might there be a fossil record within such rocks waiting to be discovered? Yeah, probably. The stalk clings to the edge of the nearby outcrop, away from the loose sand of the central reef. These gullies lead among the tall outcrops of the northern edge, the currents and open waters beyond. Let's make our way east to the source of that transponder signal. That's what I'm doing, isn't it? I don't know what to expect if the transponder is Minet's. Gully opening. Here the gully opens out onto one of the rifts, cutting deep into the bedrock of the reef. The walls here have been smoothed into soft ripples, the sign of a strong current descending from the north. I feel like I should go to this one. Look, you don't need to worry about it, blah blah blah. What was that? Rift edge. The sheer walls of the rift plunge into the dark water here, and rapid currents make passing through difficult, if not impossible. Well, maybe we should go back then. Did you ever think of that? What's this? Hidden shelf. Protected by the sheer sides of the rift, the shelf leads down to a small cavern entrance in the reef wall. That sounds better. down. I want to go this way? Curving passage. The round mouth of the cave stretches away into the rock. Stalks hum quietly in the dark. A natural cave. There's a strange evenness to the walls of the cave, almost as if it was a vast borehole drilled into the reef. The stalks even seem to get down here. Perhaps they're less reliant on sunlight than I initially thought. We're deep in the rock now. What form these hollowed-out caverns with their strange undulating walls? I wonder how the stalks survive without sunlight. Maybe they're fed by the forest above. What do you think? I don't know. It's true, we've seen no root system, but I don't think that eliminates the possibility. Protecting a small underground colony, this tall stalk signature coating of bubbles glints in the dark. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should go to that, because we can get some samples. I love samples. Is that all of them? Exposed roots. A cave-in has severed sections of the stalk's root network stretching down from the forest above. What can they tell us? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just a alien scientist's computer, okay? I don't actually know anything. Mesh of stalks. The stalks here are thick and intertwined. Underground in the stark light of the headlamps, they resemble brittle, oversized worms. What about now? Bright light from the east of this large cavern is broken up by tall pillars, casting strips of light and dark across the smooth walls. These pillars punctuate the cavern's stalks crowded around their bases. They support the vast weight of the reef above. These bloated creatures are pumping out clouds of spores into the water. Around them, stalk colonies rise out of the sand. These domed stalks are pumping out clouds of short-lived spores. They look like oversized mushrooms. These stalks are filling the water with spores. We should start logging information on them. These spores are different. The stalks nearby them seem to be stimulated by them. Could these spores be used to make stalks extend, to bring them out of hiding? We should test them out on a retracted colony. Why on earth would we do that? This? Okay. That's That's what you wanted, right? The fungal creature which communicates through sound and spores, an interlocking ecosystem seeded across the reef. No, I'm talking about this thing. Unlike other stalk spores which survive until they settle, the spores from these stalks dissolve moments after they're released. These stalks seem to be shriveling up. Is it because they're too exposed to the reef's withering current? This long stalk sits quietly beside a dying colony. Soon there won't be anything left for it to protect the scavengers. These sporing stalks seem to require very peculiar conditions to grow. I've seen so few elsewhere on the reef. These large growths seem to be sustaining this colony with their spores. Perhaps they carry nutrients, even chemical signals. Tunnel mouth. The far side of the cavern narrows into darkness. I can feel the faint pulse of a distant current ahead. The current must have once scraped down this tunnel, or run down this tunnel, scraping its walls into smooth lines. Now the stalks block the flow. The tunnel head is thick with stalks, scraping the ceiling with their rounded tips. Bright passage. Light filters in from a large opening, making the spores drifting into the water glitter like sparks. Tucked behind this pillar, perhaps this stalk grew here as an early warning for predators coming through the cave mouth. We should feed some of this stuff into the old thingy, yeah. It doesn't do anything. These things seem to help. That's good. Okay. Cave mouth ahead leaves this passage exposed to the full force of the northern current. Blocking it somehow will help us pass. Oh, we gotta use that other thing. This guy? Okay. And we could sample here because we just used up those other ones. Right? Okay. They block the current. These spores encourage them to extend and fill the tunnel. With these soothe spores, we can control the stalks to our advantage. This will be useful. Covered shelf. Tucked into the rift wall, this shelf allows protection from the fast-flowing current cutting through the rock into the heart of the reef. Another of these growths supporting a smaller colony at the cavern's edge. Is there a logic to where these grow? A pattern? So definite correlation between struggling stock colonies and these sporing stocks. Are they helping support these colonies? I say we go here and grab a sample. I'm full. I'm full. Okay. Okay. Look, out in the rift, a retracted stock colony. If we can get them to extend, they'll provide shelter from the current. Okay. Nice. A handful of stalks cling to the rift wall here, blown into spiraling shapes by the rushing currents. Spattered with spores, the wall here feels the full force of the current. Perhaps it can be slowed down upstream somehow. Pretty sure I already did that, duh. Even this close to the wall, the darkness of the deep rift is intimidating. A huge slit in the face of this world. How deep does it go? If the current can be slowed or navigated, this is the place to do it, where the rift narrows and a gap opens up on both sides. Okay, so we want to do that again. Okay. Current sliced down through the rift from the north here. Crossing is going to be difficult unless their flow can be slowed further up. A huge pillar sits out from the wall here, its top caked in retracted stalks, a golden garden waiting to emerge. Am I supposed to go this way? Yeah. The small opening in the wall provides a little shelter from the howling rift, allowing some stalks to take up root here. Another smooth tunnel leads out towards the light. Oh, and thank you to you too. What? A circle of warm light shows this tunnel opens out into the upper shelf of the east reef. What lies above? These stalks are twisted together in a huge canopy. Incredible. They're pulsing as the spores across the surface open and close. These canopies are spectacular. I'll start logging observations. Let me see what we can find out about them. These bright white petals appear to be photosynthetic plants. They float on long stems, shifting and swaying in the water. These are beautiful plants, single petals shifting in the sunlight. Let's start logging data on them. These plant-like creatures seem unrelated to the reef stalks, their soft petals waving on thin stems. Let's head northeast along this finger of the reef. The transponder is at the tip. While each plant seems to have a strong wide petal, they group together, forming fields of blooms all angled towards the sun. A colony of stalks has twisted itself tightly across this gap in the rocks. Could they be protecting something? The fractured outcrops all around break up the worst of the northern current, protecting this sandy shelf. That's blocked. It's kind of enticing because it did say, or is it protecting something? Do I have any of those? No, I don't even have the bubbles anymore. It's fine. Broken gully. The outcrops on this shelf are cut through with huge cracks, as if they were shattered somehow. What could have done this? The petals seem to shimmer as they twist and open. It's difficult to tell if this is involuntary or part of the plant's own movement. The towering canopy of the woven stalks pulsates in the soft current, the sunlight slipping through the gaps in its branches. The coloration of these canopies is much lighter than the other stalks. They grow pale yellow in the light of Gliese 667cC's 3 suns. Samples? High up in the wide canopy, I see that the stalks are twisted around strange ribbed growths. What are they holding up there? On some petals, there is a thick column of pollen on the lower part. I wonder how this is dispersed. It seems too heavy to float away. Wide single-petal plants that come in a variety of hues. They appear to be primarily photosynthetic and produce a heavy, furry-looking pollen. I'm going to name these plants shimmer blooms for the way they catch the sunlight. Bright petals line this part of the reef, shimmering and swaying, parting easily as I pass among their delicate forms. Let's get some samples. Domed mushroom-like stalks which appear to support struggling stalk colonies with a supply of special spores. With their strong resemblance to terrestrial mushrooms, I'm going to call these reef caps. Fed by spores shielded by a colony of stalks, this part of the reef seems to have fostered the ideal conditions for its own survival. Is there another way station ahead? Minnie must have built them all across the reef. In the center of this shelf is a beautiful clearing, screened from currents and predators. No wonder Minnie set up a way station here. The canopy has many gaps between its higher stalks, as if something has fallen out or been removed from it. In the scattered shadows of golden canopies and knee-deep in shimmering petals, this way station sits silent. Okay, open up the terminal, see what data we can scrape from this place. Okay. Oh, that's the drone thing. This is the terminal. Okay. Some data. Data released to pilot's console. The log suggests Minnie was using this as some kind of staging ground for expeditions over the drop-off. She was looking for something out in the ocean, something deep from the descent she logged here. Minnie doesn't do things at random. The way stations, the research base, this is calculated. I feel like we're already 10 steps behind her and we've barely even started. Let's get to that suit transponder. It isn't far from here. If we head straight north to the shelf's edge, it should be there. Like many of the large rocks on this shelf, this outcrop has been split, creating a passage to the east and another to the north. Surrounded by shimmering petals, a pulsing stalk pumps out spores. Do these carbon-rich particles feed plants too? A swirl of sand suggests this passage leads to the reef edge and the open water beyond. That seems like what we should do. Towering canopies of stalks entwined around ribbed growths, they pulse as their pores systematically open and close. I've named these table stalks after the table corals they remind me of. I'll log my notes back at the base. This side of the finger feels exposed. Thanks to its current splitting outcrops, it remains a bubble of calm. At this tip of the shelf, the outcrops fall away to reveal an unrestricted view of the vast ocean. It's both terrifying and beautiful. I see something at the edge. Is that the suit? Minnie's suit, open and empty, half sunk in the sand. Why would she leave it here? And more importantly, where did she go? It's definitely Minnie's suit, but no Minnie. Surely she isn't. Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. I want to take a look at this. It can't have been here long. Most of it's still in good condition. But how did it get out here? There's no evidence of injury. A malfunction, perhaps? What do you think? No, you're right. Then she left it on purpose, abandoned it. Did she intend us to find it? Minnie, what did you get yourself into here? It's better equipped than our suit, but the seals have started decaying. What's this? Minnie has rigged up some kind of custom propulsion system, probably to deal with the currents. We can use this. We'll need a power source, or it won't run off the suit's system. Seems like she fashioned some kind of microbial fuel cell. We'll need to recreate that if we want to use it. Okay, let's get this back to the base so I can take a better look. Minnie, you better not have done something stupid. I didn't come all the way here to bury you. Let's go. Call for drone pickup. This is a real mystery. I don't think I've ever played a game remotely like this before. Back with me? Good to hear. Let me update you. I spent the past few hours working on Minnie's suit. Bad news is the majority of it is unusable. Apart from that propulsion system Minnie pulled together, but we are going to need a power source. Minnie's suit logs mentioned her building a fuel cell using microbes from the western reef. But they don't say much else. She's been incredibly secretive while she was here. covering her tracks across the reef as if someone was watching, or she's just... I don't know. The Monet I knew was tricky, complicated, but not paranoid. Either way, if we want to recreate her propulsion system, we'll need those microbes. When you're ready, let's head to the western stalk forest and see what we can find. Okay. Map. Okay, so we did that. Cool. In Monet's notes on her microbial fuel cell design, she mentions sourcing 4 microbe colonies from this part of the reef. Well, I guess we'll go back to this. But I think we'll probably continue this next time. Because I'm feeling sleepy. I thought this was going to be like a, you know, diving around kind of game. Not like I'm like a robot's brain or something. It's really perspective I did not anticipate. But I'm into it. I'm excited to see where it goes, you know. Seems kind of cool. Let's unravel that mystery next time as we trek through other waters, I guess.